I show 4:30, so welcome Keller ISD teachers to our YouTube live called Kickstart Your Learning here in Keller ISD. Today's topic is break out of the classroom, how to do online instruction. We previously scheduled this to be about digital breakouts. However, with everything happening with COVID-19 and online instruction, we thought this would be a more appropriate topic for today's learning. Before we get into our learning, I want to give a shout out to our amazing educators that will be on here in just a little bit. My name is Sarah Smith. I'm your educational technology facilitator, and I'll be your host today for the show. But the ones doing the hard work are listed below. We have Megan Batson from Vista Ridge Middle School. We have Megan Pryor from Ridgeview Elementary School, Kim Kirkpatrick from Heritage Elementary School, Nicole Chain from Caprock, and then we also have Nicole Johns and Sandy Fant from the virtual learning team. So we have a lot to share, as you can tell. Laura Gonzalez and Christy Harold, thank y'all so much. They are moderating our chat window. So what we would like to say about that is please definitely right now introduce yourself, give us a wave, give us a smiley face. We are so glad you're here on this sunny, beautiful day and taking 30 minutes out of your time to learn with us. Now, and they'll be answering questions as well in that same chat window. If you are not seeing a chat window on the right side of your screen, look at my screen here, and this is sort of what it looks like. This is a previous YouTube live picture, but on the right, you'll see a chat window. If you've attended one of ours before or Dr. Westfall's, you probably have already done these steps, but in order to participate in the chat, which we want you to do so you'll get your EQ credit, we need you to do the following steps. So it's a very simple 3 steps. You just click on your avatar in the top right hand corner. So you'll see something like your initials or an avatar. You'll click the words your channel, and then you'll click create channel. That's it. It's super easy. Click the avatar, click your channel, click create channel, and then go back to www.kellersd.net/kickstart. And what that's just for you beginners, not beginners, but those that haven't done it before, because we need you to do that so you can chat with us. We want to hear from you. Now, while they're doing that, those of you that are here and want to be granted the EQ credit, we just ask a couple things that you watch the entire event. We don't want you to leave early. Obviously, we have a lot to share with you. We would love for you to introduce yourself. So now would be a good time to do that. I can't wait to hear who all we have on our chat. And then just at some point, submit a comment, a question, so we'll know you're out there. We want you to engage with our teachers that are sharing today. And then at the very end, we'll provide a link for EQ credit. You'll fill that form out that the link will go to. It will go straight to a Google form, and it's a short form. Fill that out and we'll give you credit just as soon as we can. All right, and just know we have our past YouTube Live Kickstart events at the same URL, kellerisd.net/kickstart, in between events, so you can go to old previous content topics. Okay, so that's all of our logistical things. I'm ready to learn. I know you are too, and that's why you're here. So we are going to turn it over to our teachers, our amazing teachers that are here to share. We have all different levels, and they're just basically showing with you what they're doing since homebound and trying to provide online instruction. So our first speaker is Megan Batson.
Hi, so I'm Megan Batson, and today I'm going to be kind of talking with you guys about how to use HyperDocs, or in this case, HyperSlides, to create an easy to use, organized, and virtual experience for each and every one of your students. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys so you can get the full experience as well. So every week I upload my lessons to Canvas for my students to access so that they can always have access whether they're at school or at home. And in this case, at home for an extremely long time for our lessons. And so for our lessons, I have a Google slide, which I've already pre-opened to save some time. And the first thing I do is I always include my email address so that if they have any questions, they can click on it. It'll take them to Gmail. and then you can see if they have any questions. They can easily just jump on in there and send you any responses they have. Um, but more importantly, we don't get to greet our students at the door anymore. It's not that we can't, we're just, there's the disease happening and everybody's getting sick, and we can't do that. And we still miss our kids terribly. So I've created a Google Forms that will allow me to still kind of get that insight from my students and be able to respond to them every single day that they fill it out. So on my virtual log, on my forms, I ask for their name, I ask for how they're feeling, and then letting them know that I'm still here for you. I know I can't see you today, but I'm still here for you. I still want to know what's going on in your life. And so I've had so many responses for this past week, where some of them are saying, Miss Batson, you wouldn't believe it. We moved into a new house. We have a foosball table that fits in our upstairs, or whatever it is that's crazy that they're talking about. And then on the other end, you have the students who are sharing that their mom works at an airport and they're incredibly scared that she's going to get sick, and they just need someone to talk to because they can't talk to her because they've already, it's just they're sharing their emotional side there. And I've been able to just respond immediately in emails every time I get a notification. And so that's been great to be able to continue to connect with my students. Once they finish filling out the log, they'll be able to go back to the lessons. And I've attached the TEKS and essential questions. And then we come to an agenda where I've hyperlinked each of the things that they need to do for the day. So they can see they need to fill out the form. If they haven't already, they can click here to go back to it. They need to do the choice board, and then they have an exit activity. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the activity so that we can talk about it a little bit more. So a hyperlink is a way to add a link directly into your activity without having the mess of the entire URL code that you would need to put in for all of your students. So you can see everywhere where there's the highlighted blue is a link that's going to take the student somewhere. So I have Padlet and I have STEMscopes, and it links to KCloud because, when we're out of school, everybody forgets their login information all of a sudden. And then Flipgrid in a way that they can go respond that way. But for this one, a one-pager tends to have a lot more information than what you can fit in just one little assignment board. And so here I have an outsourced to where you can get the Avid requirements for a one-pager. I've hyperlinked into other slides where you can see that if they click the arrow, it's going to take them to slide 9, which will give them more information about how to submit their one-pager because they can't just turn in a paper anymore. Then from there, there's also questions because I do want them to incorporate their own questions onto the assignment. And so when they click here, it'll take them to a slide that'll tell them more about different levels of questioning and how they can create those themselves. And so that's just an easy way that you can create hyperlinks. And by creating a hyperlink, you just easily highlight whatever you want to link. You come up here and then you insert the link that you want it to do. Or if you want it to go to a specific slide, you would just tell it what slide you want it to link to. And it's real simple to do. A really cool way that you can get your students to interact and engage is through hyperlinked slides. And so I'm going to go ahead and put it into presentation mode so you can try it out with me real quick. So the question is being able to identify the correct terminology for producers and consumers. So producers are heterotrophs that create their own food through the process of photosynthesis, etc., that the students can go through and read. And they need to choose whether it's true or false. So let's say my student didn't really pay attention to what a heterotroph was, and they're like, yeah, that sounds right, it's true. Well, it's not, right? So they're going to go back. Maybe they're going to study more, or in this case, true or false, you come down to it. But maybe you go through and you have the student who says producers are heterotrophs. No way, Miss Batson, that's not right. They're autotrophs. They automatically make their own food. So I know that that's false. And then it'll take them right away to a screen that says that's right. And it's just a great way to interact with your students, even though it's a slide. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to my co-host, Megan Squared, who is also here with me to talk about slide decks. So go right ahead, Megan, take it away.
While she's getting on, I love the animated gifs you had there, Megan. That was cute.
Thank you. Those are my absolute favorite. Super easy to put in too.
Miss Pryor, are you on? I think maybe you're muted. She is showing us Google Classroom. I know over there at Ridgeview, they're pushing some content out with Google Classroom. Megan, are you on?
Yes, ma'am.
There you go. Okay, it's your turn.
So we are working with fourth grade students. So we utilize Google Classroom in the classroom previous to spring break, and so we felt it was most familiar to the students to be able to do at home. That was one of our big goals. We had two goals through our digital learning, which was one, to establish and maintain some sort of normalcy for the kids, and to provide them with something they could do independently. So we rolled it out through Google Classroom this way, giving each child a copy of their own slide. And then this is kind of what the slide deck looked like. It's a pretty large slide deck, a little bit over 200 slides, because it is a full week of learning. So for that reason, we wanted to go ahead and, just as Megan had said, hyperlink the days to allow them to jump from their weekly overview, slide 6, very early on in the slide deck, to slides such as 142 down on Thursday. This allows them to kind of move about a little bit easier. We also did the same sort of thing. Each day has a to-do list. And so on that day, we would allow the students to choose what they wanted to start on. And from there, they could link to start on that slide. One of the other things that we did with our kids, just like Megan had also said, is that they want to be heard. A lot of them are feeling a little uneasy right now, and so we wanted to give them the opportunity to tell us how they were feeling. So we provided this slide on each day. During that time, we also had a chance to go in and comment. So we could tell the students how, respond back to how they were feeling, or tell them kind of some reassurance as far as our communication privately with the students. One other thing I wanted to show was down here on slide 32. We have done some video embedding, and if you need help with that, you can reach out in the chat. But we embedded a video. The purpose of this, or the reason that it really assists, is because then it doesn't take the student out to another tab. It'll go ahead and play in here. And then we were able to, since each student has their own copy, they're able to go in and edit and provide some content or feedback for what they're doing and what they're learning at home after they've viewed their video. Hope that helps.
Awesome. Thank you, Megan Squared, I guess is y'all's new name. Next up is Kim Kirkpatrick, and she's here from Heritage, sharing what they're doing.
All right. At Heritage, one of the things that we've done through a genius idea of our administration team, Miss Dukes and Miss Rodriguez. Miss Dukes came up with the idea that we needed a one-stop for all of our students. A lot of them were getting overwhelmed with so many emails and so many seesaw messages. And so it was just getting overwhelming. So what they did was we created our virtual learning site. And within that virtual learning site, you can hover over and see that K through 4 plus special education have their own, Co-Cur has their own virtual learning. Counselor has their information. One of the other amazing features is our class calendar. So all of us that have Zoom meetings, every one of these meetings are hyperlinked with the actual Zoom link. So the parents don't have to flip through emails to try to figure out which one. They just go in. If it's kindergarten morning meeting, they click that link. It automatically links into their spot. But what I'm going to show you is what we did. Another one of the things we did as a kindergarten team was we're working with a little bit older kids, those fourth graders. So they have a large slide deck is very easily, but our little ones, they need something a little bit smaller. So we created it day by day. So this is, I think, Tuesday's slide deck. And so what they do is they just click through the slide deck, and you can see what their agenda is for the day, a morning message for the day. I do a read aloud of The Princess in Black. Highly recommend that book.
Love it.
And then they have their choice boards. And there's a quick dash with one of our ELA teachers, another choice board. So everything is there. We've got the hyperlinks, but it's also just one place that we get all of that learning. Also within, so that goes into the Google Slides. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about Zoom, and a lot of what we do with Zoom has to do with things like we do morning meetings. I've seen so many people out on Twitter doing morning meetings and taking screenshots of their classes. Amazing. One thing that I also do is I have office hours. So right as soon as I finish the morning meeting with the boys and girls, I tell them, boys and girls, I want you to go find a book and I want you to quietly read while I talk with your moms and dads. And then the moms and dads get right on and we share. They ask me questions, anything that they need to know. Are there links that are broken, anything like that, so that they're able to be able to talk about that. Now, one other thing we do, let's see if I can get into it with my screen.
And while you're doing that, I bet the parents love that. Just there's something about seeing you, right? And getting to interact with you. A little different than email. So awesome.
Exactly. One of the other things, a feature that I just figured out over the weekend, just so you'll know, don't think we're experts on this. I didn't know what Zoom was a week and a half ago. I've learned a lot in 2 weeks. But one of the cool features that I've been using also is share the pen. And Nicole Chain is going to be sharing a little bit about interactive whiteboard with that. But with the share the pen that I was doing is I had a PowerPoint and I projected it. Then I can allow the students to actually have a hold of that pen and actually do the writing on the screen for me from their device at their house. And so in this case, we're doing a number talk. He circled a group of four, and he's starting to write his number sentence of what goes with that. And Nicole Chain also has been doing share the pen, but she's been doing it in a little bit different way. So Nicole, take it over.
Yes, so I have been loving using the interactive whiteboard feature on Zoom, which later on you're going to hear from Sandy, and she created a video of how to access it because it's kind of hard to screen share how to find it on here. So she made a video and it'll be linked to the KIC EdTech page for this video. But anyways, let me show you how it works. It's been a lot of fun. So when you share your screen, you get an options and you can choose a whiteboard. And so we were playing around with it earlier, but if I write something, my students on the other side, just like Kim was sharing, they also have the opportunity to share and write on it. So I'll go ahead and clear it so that we can play around a little bit more. So lately I've been doing a lot of like interactive writing where I would write like a morning message, and then on the other side my friends would fill in the blank for the phonics sound that we're practicing or add the punctuation. And the students are able to do this on a like a desktop and a tablet, an iPad, as long as you just allow the annotation feature. So this has been really great, and it kind of allows you to be a little creative. You can do recorded. You can record yourself doing a lesson and then send it out to your families, just in case you're missing your whiteboard and having that interaction with your kids. Along with that, I wanted to kind of share with you my new Seesaw feature that I have been loving, and it is using the blog. I'm not sure if any of you have been using the Seesaw blog yet, but it's super easy to enable. When you go to settings up here in the corner, you scroll down to enable blog and you just click that, and then click the students can post to blog. You can change the settings to add a password, change the appearance, and then you can connect to other grade levels or other members of your team so they can see other kids' works. So the other day we did it, and my kids were writing book reviews I gave them an assignment to write a book review, and they posted it to the blog. I think I made my screen a little too small. And it was really cute. And then they can see this because on the home access learning codes, they can only see their journal. So posting it to the blog allows them to see all of their friends' work during this time, and they can comment on each other's. And it's one of my new favorite features. We definitely have been using Seesaw a lot more during this time, and it's been really great. And even Kim has some other tips and tricks that she wants to share with you as well.
One of the things that I absolutely love is the ability to comment. And so you have a comment section. And so you had seen in some of her other one, in some of Nicole's blogs where they were typing, she was responding back directly to them. And that's great when your kids can read, but some of our littles just can't read. And so there is a feature when you click comment, you will see a microphone over to the right-hand side. And when you click that, what it's going to do is give a voice message to the kids. So you will click that button again, and then you just speak your comment, talking about the work that those children have done. And so the kids get to hear it with your voice as opposed to trying to read it. And so it's been an amazing feature that we've been able to do. And when we share classes, we're departmentalized, so I see 2 different classes. I can comment on my homerooms, but I can also comment on my co-teacher's homeroom so that I can comment on some of the things that they're putting on their blog in math.
Thank you, ladies. Oh, awesome job. I love Seesaw. And again, that personal connection. I want to, before I turn it over to our virtual learning team, Sandy and Nicole, I'm going to just go ahead and say, if we go over, because I don't want them to rush, if we go over, please hang with us. We will post the link for the EQ credit at the end. And if you have to cut out at 5, we understand. We can always email that to you later. Okay, Sandy, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hi, as a virtual learning teacher, I'm always looking for ways to interact with my students. And so I love using Flipgrid. And if you're not familiar with Flipgrid, it's a way to give students an opportunity to share their voice by recording and sharing short videos. And they get to see each other's and comment on each other's and collaborate that way. And they can use it for discussions. You can reflect upon learning. They can use it to demonstrate their learning. And so I'm going to share my screen and show you what it looks like, because I use Canvas. And I love the fact that Flipgrid integrates right into Canvas. So I can click on Flipgrid and I can create all the grids. The grid is like your classroom, and then the topics are what you want your students to do. And I can create it right there, and then I can go to an assignment, create an assignment, and then give that to them. And so I wanted to show you what it looks like on the student side also. So when the students are in Canvas and they come to this page, this is what they see. So you give them a little instruction. You can create a video and kind of give your instruction that way, or this time I gave them an example of what I wanted. And you can attach a document to it if you want to, and then the kids just click the green plus sign and create a video right there. And it's really simple. You can do it online, or there are apps that you can download, and they can do it right from their phone. They can pause it, flip the screen, add comments, trim it, and then upload it right there. So we use it for icebreakers. Reflections, I've given a math problem and had them discuss the steps on how to solve it, or I've given them a graph or an equation and said, hey, tell me everything, the key features that you know about it. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use Flipgrid. Any topic to ignite a discussion is a great way to use Flipgrid. What I also like is we all use Zoom, and Zoom also integrates within Canvas. And so you can click on Zoom, and then right here in that classroom, you can create your Zoom meeting right there, and you don't have to worry about inviting anybody or sending out an email or anything. It's just right here. And then it sends a message to the kids and lets them know that they have a Zoom meeting, and it populates in their calendar. and they can click on Zoom and they can see any upcoming meetings. So that's really good features that are integrated into Canvas that I use a lot to interact with students.
Thank you, Sandy. All right. And Nicole, you bounce in if you need to, if you have anything. Y'all are all doing amazing. Let me go back to my slideshow so I can show you a few other little tidbits that we want to end with. And while let's see, let me get there. While we are transitioning, there we go. Can y'all see that? Thumbs up. Give these presenters, these teachers, a shout out in the chat. I know there's a lot of you on today because they gave of their time today, and I thought that was amazing. Thank y'all so much. So let me do a few little housekeeping kind of announcement things. A lot of our presenters today talked about the KIC website. Maybe you've never heard of it. This slide shows you the link and kind of what it looks like when you get there. So it's I do believe you need to type in the www. So www.kellerisd.net/KICKIC. And it stands for Keller Integration and Collaboration. We have always had support there for you guys, but obviously adding more and more every day as we're trying to support online learning and online instruction. Things that are specific to COVID, you'll see that yellow bar across the top. We have added office hours. So when you click that COVID link, it'll take you to something that looks like this. We may be changing the look and feel of it, but for right now, this is what it looks like. And you can see tonight, on Wednesday, we have office hours from 5:30 to 7:30. Excuse me, what does that mean? It's similar to what Kim was saying earlier. Our ed tech team is here to help you. If you click on the link, you can zoom in and ask someone questions. So if there's something that you learned about today, hey, how do you hyperlink? Megan talked about hyperdocs and hyperlinking. How do I do that? Get on and ask during one of these office hours sessions. And then you see Thursdays 1 to 3. We're trying to kind of stagger it to hopefully meet some of your needs. So definitely check that out. I want to give a shout out to these people. I know you guys, I can't hear y'all's clapping, but please give them a fist bump or a smiley through the chat so they can watch it later because they're busy presenting. And maybe jot their names down. Maybe you want to reach out to them. And I just really appreciate our CalRC teachers stepping up and providing trainings for each other because you guys are in the trenches and are trying all these amazing things. Okay, so the form that you guys are waiting on for EQ credit is at bit.ly/KICStart live. Notice the case sensitive letters. So the KIC and the S and the L and the IVE are all capitalized. So hopefully you'll get that. I know that Christy and Laura are probably frantically answering your questions and typing in that chat window. If they cannot get to all the questions today, please know we will try to get to those as soon as we can via email. Or if you want to later shoot us an email, that is completely fine as well. Also know that we are going to be posting content on our digital learning blog. So that's also on the bottom right of this slide. If you put in your email address and subscribe to our blog, then you'll get an email when we have new posts. And so before COVID, it was about once a week. After COVID, we may be posting a little bit more just to support you guys. We're always throwing out new tips and tricks, and we may be doing some Zoom tips and tricks coming up in the near future. So definitely jot that down, snap a picture of it, or rewatch this later. You can always rewatch this YouTube live at a later date if you go to kellerisd.net/KICStart after it's over. I want to thank everybody for joining us today and taking 30 minutes out of your day. I know you guys are tired. It's the end of the day. So thank you so much. And you guys attend our next one. It'll be in April. We'll see what the topic is next.